Welcome to a demonstration of the input Deltek GovWin connectors. What I'll be covering today will actually be the integration process itself, as well as functionality and workflow for using the connector for inserting input content into your Deltek GovWin environment. This connector is supported through CostPoint CRM, Vision CRM, and GovWin CRM, and we'll be going through the functionality and use of it. The actual configuration process is very simple. It can be done with under a couple of minutes. And then what you're going to do in terms of the workflow is to actually go about navigating through your input environment as you normally would. You would run a search for a particular opportunity to pull up the content that you're interested in. So for the sake of argument, today I'm going to run a search for pre-RFP opportunities out of Veterans Affairs, because that's where my area of focus might be. And I'll just randomly pull up one of these opportunities. The functionality of marking opportunities remains the same if you're familiar with that. You mark this opportunity so that you receive updates from any time an input analyst updates this opportunity from this point forward. And then to simply integrate this content into your Deltek environment, all you'll need to do is click the Add to Deltek button. You can also remove this from the queue by clicking the same button a second time. Where this comes into play is as you go through the input environment for all of your users that are moving content over into Deltek, you'll be able to see that list from My Input and Deltek Import. And so you'll have a queue of all of the opportunities that have ever been migrated over into your Deltek environment. You're able to check or unmark some if you need to remove them from that list. And you can also change the displayed field so that you see that. That's the simple functionality of what you need to do on the input side. Now if we toggle over into the Deltek environment, you'll be able to actually see how to run this integration process. The individuals that will be actually inserting opportunities will have rights to do so, and they'll be able to go into Utilities, and under Advanced Utilities, they'll be able to click on Input Web Service and basically run integration. And you'll prompt yes or answer yes on the prompt that comes up, and you'll be able to then insert any of the changes that have gone since the last time a integration has been done, and it'll date and timestamp that integration. So the one new record that I marked to add to the list has been inserted, as well as the 23 updates from everything else that was in that queue. From a configuration standpoint, at the beginning when you're setting up your Deltek GovWin connector, all you'll simply need to do is enter in a username, which Input will provide to you, and it's generally web services at whatever your emaildomain.com is, and a generic password that will be coded so that it'll be single sign-on from use of that Input subscription into your Deltek subscription. All you'll need to do from that point forward, once those credentials are entered into the configuration, is to run this, and every time you do so, any new records since the last time you've run it will be inserted, and any updates to the records will come over as well. When you're looking for opportunities on the Deltek side, you'll go into Info Center, and then under Opportunities, you'll be able to run a search for whatever you'd like to pull up. So for example, if you wanted to do a search for the opportunity that I just inserted, which was the commodity record, you can type that into the search box and you'll pull over the title of the opportunity. It comes over as a lead from the integration. It'll tell you what date that was inserted and the status of the opportunity. If you click onto the Input Info tab, you'll see that it populates with not only the program name and acronym, but also the input ID number. You're able to link back to input content directly from this hyperlink here. Any additional comments, summary information, etc. will be attached down here at the bottom. And if there are individual points of contact and the government points of contact associated with that opportunity, you'll see those listed at the bottom. So basically, the functionality of your connector is pretty straightforward. You're going to pull up the opportunity as you would from the input side. You'll click Add to Deltek, and then on the Deltek GovWin side, you'll actually run the utility to insert that opportunity into your environment, and then any subsequent running of those will also update any changes that were made since the last time that insertion was done. If you have further questions, you can certainly contact your member advisor, and we'll be happy to assist you.